We've all heard sad stories of kids growing up in rough places and essentially getting stuck in a culture and never making it out. Sometimes this just means working a low-end job, barely getting by, and for others it means getting sucked into drugs and even gang violence. It isn't that often that you hear positive stories of kids making it out and living a life of success like Chris Joslin has. Through his support of his grandmother, close friends, and sponsors, he has had one of the most impressive skate careers that has forever left a mark on skateboarding. So without wasting any more time, let's tray flip into skate stories with Chris Joslin. Born in Hawaii Gardens, California on March 10th, 1996, Chris grew up in a life where nothing was handed to him free. If you aren't familiar with the area yourself, most of the homes have window bars to keep people from breaking in. So yeah, you could guess that his family wasn't rich. Not only that, but he grew up without a father figure in his life because he was shot and killed by the police while under the influence of methamphetamine. His mother faced the same demons as his father, but she thankfully decided to get clean when Chris was only 3 years old. While she was getting clean, Chris lived with his grandma for most of his early life.
Yeah, as far back as I know, my grandma's always been my mom.
Although it's unclear as to why he didn't move back with his mother after she got clean, the two would see each other almost every weekend. Chris was first introduced to skateboarding by his older brother at the age of just 3 years old. But the two didn't spend too much time together because shortly after this, his brother got sent to the state prison system. So other than his grandmother, Chris was pretty much on his own. Most of his childhood was spent at the skate park as a form of escape from his home situation. Being the rough area that it was, Chris's grandmother would often go with him to the park and write letters to his brother while he skated. It appears that she started going with him after he was attacked by a gang one day.
Chris was headed across the street to do some skating, and these gangs was throwing rocks at each other, and they missed each other, and they hit Chris underneath the eye. And that's when I decided we're going to skate park.
They went to the skate park nearly every single day because his grandmother wanted him to make a name for himself so he could leave the horrible area they lived in. She was also his own personal filmer at the time, which is pretty badass if you ask me. And at the age of 10, Chris Joslin would win his first contest at the El Dorado skate park. To this day, he still has the trophy up in his home. And from there on, he knew what he wanted to do with his life. Throughout his early footage at skate parks, you can see him ollieing over just about anything there. It didn't take too long for Chris to become bored of skate parks and begin doing more street skating. At the age of just 12, he found a group and began recording lots of different street skating parts. This wasn't just regular street skating stuff. He was hitting up iconic spots like Hollywood High and absolutely crushing it. He even hard flipped the 16 stair. In the video you can hear him yell midair, "What's up, Donald?" because his friend at the time, Donald, bet that he wouldn't be able to do it. It was around this time that companies began to notice Chris Joslin and started hooking him up with free completes, boards, wheels, and even streetwear. And by the time that 9th grade hit, the group that he had been filming with started influencing him in negative ways and introduced him to cocaine and ecstasy for the first time.
No fucking way!
Within months, he could tell that this would be a problem down the road, so after 8 months, he decided to quit both so he can continue putting everything into skateboarding. After seeing his success with filming at Hollywood High, he found his newfound motivation and moved to Escondido, California, where he skated the famous 4-block there.
I just back 3'd it twice. Started trying the back 360 kickflip. On the 16th try, I was able to roll away.
Sure, it took a few tries, okay, maybe 16 in total, but this is skateboarding after all. He looked badass the whole time he was doing it. Keep in mind that he was just a teenager at the time. Ryan Scheckler of Plan B noticed him after seeing his back 360 flip and knew that he had to be part of the team. And after signing with them, he really began to shine over the next few years. The first video he officially appeared in is an extremely popular one by Plan B titled Be True. Throughout the video, you can see Chris doing his stable kickflip variants over just about every staircase you could imagine. But easily the most iconic trick throughout the whole video was his tray flip at the UC Davis Gap. He did it in only 12 tries. Oh, and also, I forgot to mention that he filmed the entire video with a partially torn ACL, although at the time he thought that it was just a rupture. Yeah, pretty crazy, right? And one more thing, he had a dislocated kneecap as well. This is where Ryan Scheckler started to see that Chris was just different from everybody else.
You actually do a trick there and you kind of etch your name into that spot, it's not going anywhere. Like you are cemented in history of skateboarding as the dude that did the tray flip down Davis Gap.
Etney's Shoes saw his part in Be True, loved it, and sponsored him on the spot. Within 3 weeks of signing, he filmed Welcome to the Team for Etnies Footwear in 2015. It wasn't long before Skateboard Mag started looking into Chris, and they ended up loving what they saw, and named him the Amateur of the Year, as well as a nomination for Thrasher Magazine's Skater of the Year. During this time, Chris stopped living with his grandmother because she kicked him out. It was a hard family rule that once he turned 18, you were out on your own. Chris didn't really have much of a plan, so when the day rolled around that he had to leave, he found himself without a place to stay. But Ryan Sheckler and Chris Joslin were getting closer and closer, and Ryan decided to help him out and offer him and his girlfriend Julia to move into his place until he could get on his feet. As 2016 rolled around, things became dark in Chris Joslin's life yet again. Even though his success continued, as you'd guess with most skate crews that are younger, partying was a huge part of the culture. Ryan Sheckler and Chris would regularly celebrate after competing together. But as time went on, this would turn into drinking before skating, then drinking during skating, and drinking after skating. Eventually, it progressed to the point where the two were just pretty much always drinking. Unlike Ryan, Chris was able to catch himself before he got to the point of needing to go to rehab.
Had things kept going the way they were going, could have lost more than what I did. You can go down the wrong path, you can go down the right path, and thankfully I went down the right path.
After getting clean, he was voted into S-Less as a pick. He placed 8th at the Pro Open, 2nd in New Jersey, and was the first S-Less pick to ever compete in a Super Crown World Championship, where he held 7th. Just as all this was going down, he got his long-term girlfriend pregnant, and the two had a daughter together when he was just 20 years old. They named her London.
You know, at the end of the day, I gotta make it home. She's gotta have a dad to be here, you know, so I can't just be out there acting a fool.
Life turned from being one big party to forcing Chris to grow up and become an adult in just a short matter of time. Part of accepting his new responsibilities were making money, so he continued doing what he did best and skated.
I saw the same thing happen to a lot of people. No drive, no dedication, or if they did have it, something would get in their way and they couldn't overpower the obstacle. I kind of did my best to just learn from everyone else's mistakes.
Within a year of his daughter being born, he continued competing in pretty much every competition that he could get into. But some of the most notable ones were from the 2016 X Games in Austin, where he won gold, the Street League LA Finals, where he placed 2nd, and the 2019 Tampa Pro Independent Best Trick, where he once again placed 2nd. Although he completed a lot more, those are the only ones where he actually placed. Then in 2018, he teased the iconic footage of him doing the tray flip down El Toro. He didn't actually post the full thing until the recent announcement that El Toro was being redone. He cites the reason behind it being that he didn't like to post bails for a spot unless he's 100% sure he's not going to try a spot again. So with El Toro being torn down and skate stopped, that makes sense. And finally, on March 21st, 2019, Chris Joslin joined the Skateboarding Olympic team, where he joined 16 other skaters chosen to represent the United States. As for his family life, he's pretty much a domesticated husband now. The two were high school sweethearts, and as far as I can tell, they've been together ever since. His now wife became pregnant again recently, and they had a boy named Liam. And funny enough, Chris's wife Julia actually is his manager as well. His family also has a vlog channel on YouTube called The Joslin Fam, although they haven't posted there in a few years. But with all the family channels already on YouTube, I think we've got more than enough. Although it would be cool to see a skater version of a family channel. Over time, he's picked up a lot of sponsors that have helped him out along the way. Some of the most notable ones are Independent Trucks, Plan B, Rockstar, Bones Wheels, Grizzly Grip, Ethica, Skull Candy, and of course, Etnies Footwear. He ended up leaving Etnies for one whole day on April 1st of this year as a prank and was back on them again the next day. So yeah, that's pretty much the story of a kid that grew up with nothing but support and made it out of the hood. He is still skating to this day, raising his kids and being the best person that he can. He also regularly supports the charity of the Sheckler Foundation. Oh, and he's definitely not done skating yet. For only being 22, he's accomplished what very few skaters could accomplish in a lifetime, and he shows no signs of slowing down, except of course having kids and being married, which I guess can sometimes slow you down. But overall, Chris Joslin is truly a professional skater in every sense of the word, and has definitely left his mark on the culture as well. And that's the story of Chris Joslin as we know it so far. Thank you guys for watching this video, and if you guys have any suggestions for future skaters that you'd want me to do, make sure to leave them down in the comments below. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you soon. Peace.